Good morning, everyone. Warmest of welcome from Laurel Park. Naomi Tucker alongside Tim Tulloch. Tim, I don't get to do the morning shows too often with you. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, glad to be here. It's a great day. It's going to be a nice day of racing. We've got some nice carryovers. Late pick 5, 10 grand. Rainbow pick 6, 8 grand. And, of course, the Stronach 5.
Yeah, happy Stronach 5 Friday. But before we dive into this 10 race card, do you have a bit of information when it comes to the Preakness here? The countdown is truly on for Preakness 147. Now, Tim, you've been here a lot longer than me. What are you looking forward to? And perhaps share one of your favorite memories with us.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of memories.
Teed you up for this.
There's a lot of memories. But look, probably 2004, that was Smarty Jones. I won a couple races on the Preakness card, including the Hearst Jacobs stakes that day. So that day really sticks out. But, oh, boy, there's been some memorable runs. Curlin, Street Sense, Rachel Alexandra. Oh, wow, it goes on and on and on. And now it will go by fast. From here on in, it's a blink in the eye, and it's Black-Eyed Susan Day. So get tied on. Get your tickets for sure. And we had a big announcement this week.
We do indeed.
We do. Go ahead.
You go first. What's our big announcement for this week?
We announced our acts for Preakness week.
We're going to mention it here later on, but the Stronach 5 story, you caught me completely off guard. I was like, well,
that's okay.
We do indeed have Marshmallow in the infield, the chain smokers, absolutely phenomenal. But look, Stronach 5 Friday, Maryland Jockey Club here. Race 8 is the first race. We have 2 races here once again. You definitely caught me off guard there.
You send this handy-dandy rundown that I neglected
we were going to mention
read
it
the
later.
whole thing.
And Santa Anita Park involved as well. Gulfstream Park, Leg D, Leg E, Golden Gate Fields. I know you created a ticket. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's have a look at the current track condition. The sun is out. We've had some rain. They've been working on the track. I know you just had the chance to go and have a look at it. How did you find it?
We really didn't hear from the track man before we went on air, but I kind of called it good, but I call it good to muddy at this point. But I think it will get probably good by post time. It's still another hour away, but we'll see what he has to say. But it's definitely not fast, so don't handicap for a fast racetrack.
Yeah, and we do have a couple of scratches as well, so make sure to note that down in your program. We'll start with race number 1. Starts off that early pick 5, 1 turn, 1 mile the distance here. We landed on a couple of similar horses in this spot. Chica Rabiosa, both of us like they're going from the rail. She showed tenacity when trying to split up the field early by kind of gunning for the front. She's very fast from the gate. She lasted the distance last time out going the mile in 16 around 2 turns, but agonizingly just got caught by Imagine the Moho. She is the main pace danger in here again.
There's no doubt about it. She should be coming out of the gate. She should be creating most of the pace early. She's good going 3/4 of a mile. You see that race back in November. And she came back and she ran a nice race running this 1 turn mile. She just ran into a very, very good She Made Me Lucky, who ran off and hit that afternoon. But I think she gets to the front, and she should be able to handle whatever racetrack she gets served up this afternoon.
Yeah, you use the number 5 underneath as well. That is Sachs for trainer James Lors. She continues to drop and search for easier fields. She's competed against graded stakes foes even. Is this going to be her spot?
It should. Well, I hope so. Everybody better hope
it to be, right?
You want it to be her spot. The blinkers come off. Look, that wasn't a terrible race she ran in that $25,000 event in her last start. She was even while sprinting. She was outrun 8 lengths early in the race. She gets outrun 8 lengths late. She kind of stays the same. So the stretch out should help her. You go back, you look at a couple races at Churchill Downs earlier in her career, going a 5/8 and, of course, a mile and a 16th, where they were pretty good races against clearly much, much tougher.
Yeah, I use Helical Rising underneath here for trader Claudio Gonzalez. This is first time going up against winners for her, but the figs that she posted breaking her maiden are solid in this field. Yeah. And also, I think we have a new jockey in our midst here. Jaron Barbosa, if I say that correctly, has been riding in Puerto Rico at Hippodromo Camarero. Is making his debut race here at Laurel Park for Claudio.
Yeah, getting a lot of weight, 10 pounds off. But look, here's the key about Helical Rising. First time going long for Claudio Gonzalez, and that's Philly's been in good form her last couple races. She broke her maiden going 7/8 of a mile, and I may note on a muddy surface. Now she stretches out, which isn't the first time in her career, but it is the first time for Claudio, and that makes a big difference. So certainly a player in the opener.
Yeah, Claudio, very good with horses going along again for his stable. Race number 2 starts at early pick 4. Keith, as usual, has been so kind to send us in his pick 4 ticket. Let's see how he plays it. Look, I think this is a day that's tricky to find a single. We don't see a single here in his early pick 4. He goes too deep here in the first race using the number 5 Amicalola Falls as well as Dune Dune, the number 6. Then in race number 3, he goes 3 deep using the 1, the 3, and the 4, which is quite interesting. That's an interesting race. We'll get to that in just a second. Race number 4, he goes 2 deep using the 3 and the 4. Beverly Park Military Hop seemed the 2 to be in there. And then in his final leg, he goes 4 deep using the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 8 in that maiden 25, 6 furlongs, the distance $24 flat ticket. We're hoping to catch a price in that last leg. But let's discuss race number 2 first. Maiden claiming $10,000 to $8,000, 6 furlongs the distance here. And Tim, you landed. I had Chauffeur on top at the beginning. I kind of looked and switched things around a little bit. Look, it's hard to go with a runner that has not won in 20 career starts. This will be his 21st start. But at some point, you think this 5-year-old is going to put his nose in front. And he's run some races on the go back, especially at this level now he gets back, that make him very competitive.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of a drop today, but I just think it's simply that. I think he's found a group that he can handle. And you're right, he's got some races on the go back, not too far off. Last December, that race for running second at this maiden $10,000 level, going 3/4 of a mile, that race is good enough to win for sure. But I just feel like he's found the right group. It could be today or never for Chauffeur, because I don't know if he's ever going to find a softer group than this group this afternoon.
Yeah, of course, the connection. I've been persevering with him. Love to see this 5-year-old get his picture taken for the first time. I landed on Amicalola Falls for trainer Mary Epler. Didn't have the best of start on his second race after a bit of a layoff, but he cuts back in distance. So I'm hoping that he's going to see out the trip a little better in here and look lightly raced in comparison to some of the others.
Look, he's turning back in distance. He went a mile over a good racetrack. That didn't quite work. But look, it's all about the break. He hasn't gotten away in any one of his 3 races, so he's going to need to break well this afternoon, and he just simply hasn't. And every race he's had trouble at the break. He's going to need a good, clean start this afternoon.
Yeah, I have some interest in number 6, Dune. I know Keith used this runner as well. The blinkers go on. The lights kind of went on last time out. He showed a bit of live running with them in the earlier stages, kind of held on. That was the first time he actually did a fair bit of running. Yeah,
that's exactly my note says. My note says minor step in the right direction in his last start. It really was. He ends up getting beat 9 lengths for running 6th, and well, that doesn't sound particularly encouraging when you look at his double-digit beats in his 3 previous starts. It is a step in the right direction, and now he gets down to a little bit lower class out of 12.5. But hopefully he moves forward. The additional blinkers will work sense from the gate.
Yeah, a couple of interesting runners in there. Race number 3, Nickel Claimers, 1 mile and 16 around 2 turns. The distance here for 4-year-old and upward. And we'll start with the runner that you have on top in here. I do believe that I noted him down as a scratch, but we'll double check that because that might have been my bad. So I'll let you lead the way on the number 7 Breeze Burner.
On the number 7 Breeze Burner, I don't have it as a scratch, but here we go.
Double check
That's
as
okay.
Well.
Comes in for Kimberly Gracie here this afternoon and dropping off a subpar effort in his most recent, where he was drawn toward the inside and was under pressure from the beginning. But you look back at his previous starts to that, open 12.5, just got beat. We're running second, beat an $8,000 race, a winner. Open nickel, as he's running today, a winner and good solid in numbers. Look, he's a winner of 4 of his last 7 races and is capable of winning from off the pace. You look at some of his races. Is he still?
I think he's not going to be lining up
Really?
today.
No,
I have him as a scratch here on Equibase as well, the number 7 Breeze Burner. So we do have a couple of scratches, so make sure to stay with us as well.
Pretty good commentary though on Breeze Burner.
Make sure to check out the scratches, because we got a couple of horses that will be coming back another time. We'll start with your top selection in here, right? Whirling Curling, the number 3 then. David Mohan trains, a bit of a closer, but he's been doing well. He was able to actually run into a bit of a softer pace last time out at Laurel, and that's tough to do.
Yeah, I mean, he won that beaten race in his last start. This is going to be a little bit tougher in the open race this afternoon, but he should be able to sit a good trip as he did in his last start, going the mile and 16th this afternoon. That was a good effort. 2 of his last 3 efforts when he's running at this $5,000 to $8,000 level. This is his level as a 7-year-old.
Yeah, I use the number 8, My Sacred Place, on top here for the Rodriguez stable. Second after the claim, returns to routing. Now, his last win came going the 1-turn mile right here, but he's one going short as well. So a bit more of a flexible 5-year-old gelding here. And if he's on point, he's very game. He's eager in the later stages. I think he's fine rating. He'll have to probably commit to doing so from that outside gate, but I think he's got a very live chance.
Yeah, for sure. And you go back to last summer at Pimlico, going 2 turns, mile 16th up there at Old Hilltop. Those were good positive efforts with good strong numbers, 2 back going 3/4 a mile over a muddy track. That was a big effort, but he certainly gets back to the level of most of his success, and that's 5,000.
Yeah, and both of us have the number 1 Flat Excel in our selections as well. He was caught on the outside last time out before backing up, but he's got a lower draw today, and he's bound to try and set the tone here from that inside gate.
Yeah, no question about it. I just draw a line through that last race. He was used hard from the outside, but this afternoon he draws that coveted rail going a mile 16th here at Laurel Park, has shown speed before. I can't imagine that he's doing anything but looking for the front.
I mean, that's probably going to be his best chance as well. Save some ground while setting the pace here. Race number 4 is a nickel starter, allowing 6 furlongs the distance. There we do have a video spotlight. We have 2 horses in there that will be lining up. Cook Brothers won't be, but Military Hop and Top Boss will be going against each other again. Now, Military Hop ended up coming out on top here. Top Boss was going hard early. He was chasing Revolutionary Road, but Military Hop made kind of an aggressive move and was able to take over with a plump there because he just clears by 7 lengths.
Yeah, he clears right away and just moving just really, really well across the ground, moving really, really well across the ground and just drawing off from a Top Boss. So Top Boss ran a decent race within himself at that day. But Military Hop, look, he's just a winner of 4 of his last 5. He's done it sprinting. He's done it going long, ahead of a couple next out winners and Titans Will and Irish Colonel earlier. I mean, he just looks like, to me, Beverly Park, we're going to talk about in a minute, the 3 is going to be very, very tough. But I'm going to, between those 2 horses, Military Hop and Beverly Park, the edge goes to Jamie Ness.
Yeah, I agree that we see this exactly the same. I feel like Military Hop, if Beverly Park starts tiring, because I think Beverly Park is very, very fast early, is going to try and hit the front. Military Hop is the one that is going to pounce, that is going to collar him late. So I just gave him a slight edge there.
Yeah, and Beverly Park's probably not going to get an easy lead. You got Rockenfeller's with some speed. They tried not to use his speed in his last start. It didn't work. I expect them to be sending Rockenfeller's again today. So this could really, really set up for Military Hop.
Yeah, Beverly Park does get JD Acosta on board. Now, we know that last time JD was on board on him, he won on him. Yeah. So clearly he gets along with him very well. But it's all a question, is he going to get to that wire in time?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with Beverly Park's form. This horse that went 9 for 10 last year is already 4 for 8 this year. He should be looking for the lead, as we talked about. So, and the figs are strong, but it's hard to argue against Beverly Park, and you really can't make a strong argument. I'm just going to give the edge, as you did, to Military Hop this afternoon.
Yeah, and we both used the number 7 Top Boss in third. I think it's one to use for the exotics. I think he's capable of sitting with a fast pace. He's capable of going with them, and he tends to stick around. I'm just not entirely sure he will be good enough on the day to really catch those 2 top runners, because we've already mentioned that Beverly Park and Military Hop both in superb form.
Well, he gets back down to this starter nickel level. He tried the Adavan last time. He ran into some pretty nice horses in Bear Force 1.
Yep.
And Nash Vegas, who I've picked on top, I think, for Sunday in a race, and Magic Mule, who I've picked on Sunday also. So those are some tough runners at that first level allowance condition. But back in the starter this afternoon, that's going to help them out.
Yeah, let's move on to race number 5 in here. 6 furlongs the distance there. Filly's 3-year-old maiden claiming 25 to 20,000. We both key around Shine Like a Diamond for trainer Tim Keith. She had to navigate an inside draw on debut. We never like that for a youngster, and she ends up dropping back on the rail. She takes plenty of kickback on the day. I thought it was a very good experience for her there. She ends up kind of passing a couple of runners. That's what you would like to see. She just missed for third, and they bring her back pretty quickly. 12-day turnaround, suggesting, she's doing well.
Well, they come back in with a protected drop. Drops from the maiden special weight to the maiden 25, the debut race, as you mentioned, breaking from the fence. Not a bad effort at all. Got a lot of experience in that race, and certainly she's getting class relief this afternoon. You take out the 2 Soulstone and the 4 Thunder Boss, who is probably going to be the favorite, the 7 and the 8 in this race. So it kind of falls into shine like a diamond's hands.
Yeah, it feels like all of a sudden this truly has become her race after a couple of scratches. I want to talk about Miss Fox Sam, the number 6 on the outside, drops steeply from the maiden 40, isn't protected in here, is in for the tag on the day, showed plenty of speed last time out, but just kind of got caught out late. But this might just be the group that she can hold on.
This should be a group that she can hold on, and maybe she can get the job done. I mean, she has the races on the go back. Her debut race was a nice race where she got beat 3 lengths, ran a good strong number, but 2 and 3 back weren't bad efforts either at that maiden 40. So she gets class relief also this afternoon.
I agree there. Yeah, I use good story underneath. I liked her ability to kind of be tactical and kind of hopefully make a run out of here. Second after a break as well, so I think she's going to move forward, and she seems to be well spotted here at this level. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the final couple of races that we have going on today here at Laurel. First level allowance here is race number 6 for fillies and mares, 4-year-old and up, going the 1-turn mile here. But race number 6 also starts that late pick 5. Tried my hand at it. We got quite a big carryover. Do you believe it's over $10,000 going into this? $10,349 to be exact. So let's see how I played. I couldn't find a single 1 to 2, but kind of struggled, so ended up spreading ever so slightly wherever I thought it was possible within the realms of my wallet, basically. 3, 7, and 8 here to get you going. The number 7 goes made in my top pick, but Made in Miami very strong here. Didn't want to sit on the tenacious Tweet Away Robin either. Race number 7, I go too deep. I really feel like it's a 2-horse field in that field. American Bastard against Response Time. I think those 2 are the ones to key around. And the first level optional claimer, race number 8, I go 3 deep using the 1, the 2, and the 9. I think that's a fun field that you definitely want to spread a little bit. And then race number 9, another optional claimer for the ladies. There's 7 furlongs. I stick with the number 5, Stick It to the Man, as well as the number 10, Bazinga C, who's very fast from the outside. And in the finale, hopefully we're still alive, I use the 1, the 2, and the 7 in there for that claiming $1,654 a flat ticket. That does commence here in race number 6. Like I said, fillies and mares, 4-year-old and up, going that 1-turn 1 mile. And here we'll start with your top selection, Tim. Met in Miami for trainer Graham Motion. She actually had to kind of rush into a bit of a subpar pace in her last race. That was at Tampa Bay Downs. Nearly got the bob, but she broke her maiden on this track and beat Ghost Maiden in the process, who will be lining up here as well.
Absolutely, and doing it at this 1-turn mile. But her latest race down there at Tampa Bay Downs was a nice race, gets beat in neck while running second. Now she has spent since that race all of her time down there in Tampa. She just worked on March 20th, so she just worked in Tampa on March 20th. You know how I like these horses that are coming from the warmer weather of the south this time of year to this cool weather that they're going to get today.
Yep,
it seems to move
day.
them up a little. We saw that happen when the A other than this past Saturday with Jonathan Thomas's horse coming directly from Palm Beach Downs and came up here. It was an $18 winner. So I'm going to stick with Met in Miami for Graham Emotion, and certainly has some other figures that are pretty good. They were on the turf, but I think she's good enough to win here this afternoon.
Yeah, I highly respect her. I use Ghost Maiden for trainer Jerry Robb on top. Seems like she's flying at home at present. A minute flat, she worked the 5-furlong move in on the 18th of March. And in that last race, that really wasn't her day. 3 wide into the first turn, she got taken back. She kind of just really failed to fire. Victor protected her in the end a little, which I always agree with. Jockeys just allowing them to kind of finish off. They come back for another day, because 2 races before that, with Xavier Perez on, who takes the ride again here, she was able to keep on firing. She eyeballed mid-Mazel all the way to the wire. I do believe we still had a little bit of snow sprinkling on there that day, but look, Ghost Maiden, I think she can bounce back from that loss.
Well, not only that, I mean, look, she's very, very good going the 1-turn mile. That win you mentioned 4 starts ago, win going the mile when she ran a lifetime best 78 by her speed figure. She runs back to anything close to that. She probably goes directly to the winner's circle. And as you mentioned, good sharp work for Jerry Robb since then, who's hitting at 35% this winter.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying with his barn. I do believe that narrowly leading in the trainer standing as well. Tell me about Positive Power, the number 9 on the ad for trainer Claudia, because I didn't get to her. She's shown plenty of speed early. Blinkers go on, a move that Claudio is quite effective with.
Blinkers go on, and I look back at this race from November 6th, going the 1-turn mile. That was a pretty good effort. Now, it was for the 8,000, now there's a 2 lifetime, but behind the next out winner in a Golden Grant. I like the outside draw for this afternoon. I like the fact that the blinkers go on a good work sense. So I'm going to play with Positive Power here, and you're going to probably get a decent price on her this afternoon. I mean, you take out the one Acadian girl who would have been a short price favorite. The race kind of opens up a little bit. Also take out the 6 Gwynedd, but so I threw Positive Power in there for a shot. I mean, look, by the figures, her last 2 races, good enough.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is actually a fun race now. It's kind of opened up, because I think most people would have been on board with the Rail Run Acadian girl, who will not be making an appearance today. I wanted to give some credit to Tweetaway Robin. What a tenacious mare. I mean, she does step it up in here, but look, she came back with a much improved effort last time out for trainer Hugh McMahon. She was on the lead. She clicked off solid fractions. I see her doing something similar here, and especially underneath, she's one that you don't want to leave out.
You don't, especially now that Acadian girl is out. Her stock really arose when Acadian girl scratched, because she's the speed toward the inside. That's where she likes to be. She likes this 1-turn mile. And look, that race 2 starts ago in that A of the Van, that wasn't a terrible race. She only got beat 5 lengths. She runs home behind Sweet Home Dixie in Award 1. It would come back and win again. That was a tough race. She's this A of the Van, probably not as tough as that one. So I give her a lot. Give her a little love. I'll tell you who I will not give any love to today in this race is Miss Chesapeake. I have filed for divorce with this one. But I probably just pushed her in the winner's circle, and she'll win off and run and hide.
Yeah, no, look, she's a tricky one. She's a half-sister to where she told me to go. Of course, multiple stakes winner for trainer Brittany Russell. I'm kind of taking a wait-and-see approach with her here. She could run off the board and run away with them based on talent alone. In her last couple, she wasn't as impressive. So I'm taking that wait-and-see approach that you're taking as well. So we'll see if we just talked her into the winner's circle there.
There you go.
Possibly. Race number 7, 2 other than optional. Claimer for fillies and mess, 4-year-old and up. Sprinting distance of 6 furlongs. And look, I said it when I was talking you through my late pick 5 ticket. I believe this is a 2-horse field. I'm looking at the number 4 American Bastard as well as the number 5 Respond Time, completely keying around them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's who I have. My concern is both American Bastard and Response Time, they'd like to be all part of it. And that could set it up for the 6. Hope has a name who has shown the ability to lay off and sit back. But look, American Bastet, I agree, looks like the best filly in the race. She's in very, very good form. She's coming off a really, really big win, stepping into 2 other than for the first time this afternoon, as is Response Time, stepping into 2 other than for the first time.
Yeah, and actually, I was looking at the reason I like American Best. I know what you mean. She wants to be in front. She wants to be a part of it. But 2 starts back against Fraudulent Charge, she was overtaken on the home team. Pressure from the inside, from the outside. It looked like she was kind of done. She found another gear, was able to secure 2nd instead of 4th, the position that she was in at the time. And that made me kind of hoping that she can still pass a couple of horses if need be, if she doesn't get to the front here. Now, I think she's fast enough to do so, but that gives her a couple more options, gives her a little bit of dimension.
Sure, it certainly does, and she's in really good form. That was a life best figure she ran in her last start. Response time, I don't think is going to make it easy on her, right to her outside. She's going to, at worst, put some pressure on her.
Oh, for sure.
If she doesn't try to head her, she's going to try to put some pressure on her, maybe a half length back, 3/4 length back, maybe make her go a little quicker than she wants to. But I agree. I mean, American Bassett's the best horse in the race. But if the duel develops, it could set up for Hope Has a Name, who has already run at this 2 out of the van level, and it was a good effort. She only got beat 3 lengths from running second.
Yeah, very true. You might want to be using her inside. I mean, Response Time looking to continue that 3-win streak into a 4th win in here. And look, in her last race, she was much the best. I think she was just in hand, and then did have to kind of be careful in that final strides there. But I know that Dennis Arujo will certainly be looking around to make sure that he is alone in front by the time the wire comes. So I think she's very live. But look, Hope Has a Name. Don't sit on her either as we move on to race number 8, which is the start of the Stronach 5, I do believe. 1:16 the distance here for around 2 turns. Let's have a look at how you see this Friday Stronach 5 unfold.
Okay. That ticket's not right. Okay, let's just we'll fix it in the afternoon.
All right, well,
okay.
we kick the sequence off first, so we'll just start about race number 8, and optional claimer 1 of it then, around 2 turns for 3-year-olds in here. And we do have a video spotlight, I believe, as well on 2 runners here. Maximum Impact, the Norman Cash runner, as well as Hardness, where we're looking at the start, because Maximum Impact had a bad bump. Kind of all his momentum was taken out in here, and he actually came on rolling very strongly late, ends up switching to the inside rail. There wasn't much between him and Hardness at all, so I kind of just wanted to key up on that. Now, this was, of course, the race that Shake 'em Loose won. Now, Shake 'em Loose came back and won the private terms next time out. So, logically speaking, we're kind of keying around the form in this field.
We are. I mean, like, Hardness, I thought ran a really, really nice race, as you mentioned, behind Shake 'em Loose. You see her on the outside. Maximum Impact made a bold run around the turn, but then couldn't sustain down here. And, the monkey jumps on his back a little bit here in the last 16th of a mile, going the 1-turn mile, but moves back to 2 turns this afternoon, as does Hardness. Hardness is a little bit better going 2 turns than that 1-turn mile, I think. You look back at that race, 2 starts back, lifetime best, galloped. Okay, there was nothing behind Hardness that day. Won by 21 lengths. But you go back to Parks, going a mile 70, which is a 2-turn race. I think she prefers the 2 turns. She had to work since that last race, and of course it's Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, the only caveat I have with Hardness is, as I said, with Maximum Impact lost all momentum, and there wasn't that much between them, so I had to include the number 4, add a bit more value as well. But look, Hardness ran an incredibly game race. That was a deep field in there. I was also mentioning Shake 'em Loose, next out stakes winner, but you had Nadagar, you had Mr. Mox, and of course a couple of reopposes in here, like Uncle Irish and Minecrafter as well. I have a price play in this field. I feel like this is the field to try and get some value here. It's drawn towards the outside, the number 9 Hefner for trainer Mikey Giordana. Second time going routing after a strong race, going the 1 mile against Locomotive, Majestic Frontier. Now we know that Majestic Frontier was stepping up in that race, but still ran a very game race. And, that was Stakes Company. First time going long in Stakes Company is not the easiest thing to do. Interesting kind of the way he ran that day, was a bit keen, wanted to be more forwardly placed. I think now with that outside draw being, possibly slotting in or having some clear area in front of him might allow him to roll on a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the question. I mean, that's a really high draw going a mile 16th here at Laurel Park, the 9. A good effort, no doubt about that, in the Miracle Wood, while stretching out for the first time. Going to either have to relax early and tuck in, or just, hopefully not lose too much ground on that first turn, because no scratches to his inside.
True.
That's a big high draw. I probably would have used Hefner a little bit better. I have him at the bottom of my ticket. if it wasn't for the draw.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm trying to see that in a positive light to allow him to slide up a little bit because he looked quite keen in Horatio's hands. Race number 9 is another optional claimer first level, this time for the 3-year-old fillies. 7 furlongs the distance in here. And Tim, we both key around the number 5, Stick It to the Man for trainer Brittany Russell. Well bred, Dam was a stakes placed mare going around 2 turns at Santa Anita where she posted career best figure of 90 buyers. Reasoning behind it, she's just slightly stretching out here to the 7 furlongs. Just wanted to see the pedigree wise that would suit her. But Stick It to the Man, she was joined on the lead early and then she just kind of started to move away from them on the bend. I don't think the added furlong is really going to make a difference for her here.
Well, not anymore. With the scratch of the 2 Misty Mauve and the 4 Bandits Warrior, this is a filly that I had on my ticket, but behind those 2 that scratched.
Yeah.
It was a nice debut. There's no doubt about it. It was going 3/4 of a mile. She stretches to 7/8 of a mile this afternoon. She will be showing her speed early.
Yep.
No doubt about that. Even though there might be a little speed down to her inside, she's probably faster. She's going to get a little bit better setup on the lead going 7/8 of a mile today than she did going 3/4 of a mile, and she was still able to outrun those maidens in that last start.
She did indeed. And how about Forget About It? You have her in second.
Yeah.
I was questioning her stretch out here a little bit. Wasn't as professional. She still, Usher want him to see still in the left lead. We know they tire when they don't change their leads. Is that added real estate going to help her or make it harder for her?
I think it's going to help. The pace scenario is going to change a little bit going 7/8 of a mile. It's probably going to slow down.
Yep.
I can't see him going 22-2 for that first quarter mile, and she was not that far off of that pace. Now, I originally did not have her in my picks, but after the couple scratches and I revisited this race, I was like, this filly could move forward. That was the first time against winners at an A other than level. Beneath the Stars had gotten an easy lead. Bandits Warrior tried to run with that one, as couldn't sustain through it. So now you got Forget About It, who runs third in that race. Look, if you like Bandits Warrior in this race before the scratch, maybe we should give Forget About It a little consideration.
No, I agree with you. I really like Bandits Warrior in here. Unfortunately, she won't be lining up, of course, a half sibling to Anna's Bandit. But I ended up with a speedster on the outside, Bazinga C. Not as great to have such a high draw, but with the amount of scratches on her inside, I don't think it really is going to matter. And she's seen out the mile distance, so I feel like with her speed, she's gone 6 furlongs quite decently. Now just between 6 to 7 to a mile and then back again. I just feel like that works well for her, whereas with some others in here, just questioning if the 7's what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I love her draw. I don't mind that high draw.
Yeah, I think it works in her favor at this point.
Yeah, I think it does also. She's already a winner at this level. She won A other than at Penn National in her last start, and there's other races with the numbers that could work. But she's going to need to bring that race that she ran at Penn National, no doubt about that.
Yeah, sure have to. Final race on the card is a claiming event, 16 to 12,500. Nominees of 3 lifetime 4-year-olds and up. 1 turn, 1 mile the distance. And you're all over Lake Nakuru for trainer Norman Cash. Look, in comparison to his main track tries, Lake Nakuru is actually dropping down in class. Last time was seen at the claiming 15 level, but that was on the turf, whereas before that was running well at some of the higher claim levels at Fairgrounds.
Sure, 2 back, 2 lifetime 30,000. Good race that day. Only got beat 7 lengths. Go back further. Last fall, Indiana Downs, Indiana Grand, and Churchill Downs. Those are 2 good races going the 1 turn mile at Churchill, where he got beat 2.5 lengths while running 5th, and a good number. We're coming out of that Fairgrounds race now. That's all the good news. We've seen Cash Norman do this before. We saw Beverly Park do this earlier this year. Lake Nakuru ran at the Fairgrounds on March 18th. Today's the 25th, so 7 days ago. He did run and took the trip on up from Louisiana to here at the Laurel Park. But we've seen Cash do this before on short rest. I think Beverly Park ran on a Monday and came back on Friday and won here, and has done well doing it. So I'm gonna stay with him. Gebologist is really interesting this afternoon.
Yeah, I have Gebologist underneath here for trainer Jamie Ness. Trust Jamie Ness to get one back to some of their older form. First off the claim here, we know he puts the speed back in, and this runner has shown that he's very capable of running with success at this level.
Yeah, and getting class relief this afternoon. Coming out of the starter 16, optional 25, had been running in 2 other vans up there at Penn National. Comes here, runs for the 25. I thought that was a good move. I didn't think it was a selling move. It wasn't a huge drop. I'd been running in 2 other vans, getting beat, but running well at Penn National. Comes in for 25. Jamie scoops him up. Couple works, this horse is going to move forward. Jamie, 37%, first time off the claim.
Yeah, that's a stat that you have to take into account here. I use the number 7 striking a pose on top, but let's move on to lightning round to get you up to date with the current jockey and trainer standings. Of course, the trainers' battle continues. Jerry Robb, narrow lead over Claudio Gonzalez here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Then you've got Jamie Ness, who's waiting in the weeds. He can fire off a couple wins in a day, any race day down here. Took a little bit of a hit when the Parks horses weren't allowed to run here, so that cost him probably a few wins. So Jamie Ness is still in the thick of it, but it's good to see a little bit of a change at the top of the leaderboard and having a nice competitive meet with the trainers.
Yeah, and Javian Toledo remains on top as a leading rider here as well. As we move on to Dubai World Cup wagering, you have the opportunity to place your wagers on the meet coming up tomorrow. We have an early opening of Laurel Park, 8:45 a.m. So you can get in and have a look at your card and make your advanced deposit wagering, starting with race number 3, which is the Dubai Gold Cup. Of course, key races for us here in Maryland are the Golden Shaheen. Wonder where Craig is there for trainer Brittany Russell, as well as Dubai World Cup. Life is Good, Hot Rod Charlie, Country Grammar, Midnight Berman, you name it. The Americans are out to grab that $12 million pot. We already mentioned the Stronach 5. This week's wager starts in race number 8. We have 2 legs here, race number 9 as well, before we join our friends Santa Anita Park, Gulfstream Park and Golden Gate Fields. Of course, we also wanted to mention that the spring meet is starting on April 1st. No joke, we will be commencing this meet on the Thursday, 12:40 p.m. post as usual. And look, Tim, you already keyed it up at the beginning.
I did.
Preakness meet in the infield. We have an incredible lineup, really.
Yeah, we do. We've got Marshmallow, and we've got the Chain Smokers, and Frank Walker, and I can't read the other one.
Moneybag
That's
Joe.
right. Exactly. So my kids were all excited about Marshmallow and the Chain Smokers, so I had to do a little research to see what they sang. So
Wonderful.
If the kids are excited,
lineup.
then it's got to be good. Frank Sinatra's gone, but.
The infield fest never disappoints. So do get your tickets for Preakness 147. Go to preakness.com. And of course, sit tight for your scratches and changes with Dave Rotman.